Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, OPEC has slashed oil production. We'll tell you how this move could affect gas prices. Elon Musk's next move, saying he's willing to buy Twitter. Find out what Twitter might do next. We've had a stretch of beautiful weather. Josh Darrow has the information on whether the comfortable temperatures will continue. And the Rockbridge area transportation system is aiming to provide nonprofit medical stretcher transport. Find out whose experience inspired their efforts. All this and more coming up on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Caitlin Tompkins.
And I'm Jenny Hellwig.
Breaking news. President Joe Biden is pardoning thousands of Americans convicted of simple possession of marijuana under federal law. The move also covers people convicted of the crime in the District of Columbia. Biden said in a statement that, quote, "No one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana," end quote. The White House says the pardon could help thousands overcome obstacles to renting a home or finding a job. And the Department of Justice is working on a process for those covered by Biden's pardon to receive a certificate of pardon.
A former police officer facing a drug charge burst into a daycare center today in Thailand, killing dozens of preschoolers and teachers and then shooting more people as he fled. At least 36 people were slain in the deadliest rampage in the nation's history. The children were taking an afternoon nap during the attack. The assailant then took his own life after killing his wife and child at home. The attack took place in the rural town of Nong Bu on Lam Phu in northeastern Thailand. Locals have been donating blood en masse to help treat the wounded. Gas could start getting more expensive again. OPEC is planning to slash oil production by 2 million barrels per day starting in November. It's the biggest production cut since the start of the pandemic. The group of major oil producers, which includes Saudi Arabia and Russia, met yesterday for the first time in person since March 2020. But the impact of this cut may be limited since many smaller OPEC producers were struggling to meet previous production targets. Rising oil prices could still mean inflation stays higher for longer.
North Korea launched 2 ballistic missiles towards its eastern waters today, and then flew 12 warplanes near its border with South Korea. South Korea sent out warplanes in response. The posturing comes after the United States redeployed one of its aircraft carriers near the Korean peninsula. The USS Ronald Reagan moved towards the peninsula in response to Pyongyang's previous launch of a nuclear-capable missile over Japan. The aircraft carrier was in the area as part of training drills with South Korea and other training with Japan. The launches were North Korea's 6th round of weapons tested in less than 2 weeks. An Indiana family is mourning the death of their loved one after police say he was killed by his college roommate. Both the victim and the alleged killer attended Purdue University. The motive is unknown. Camila Fernandez reports.
This is the man the Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Office says allegedly killed Purdue University student Varun Chedda. The 22-year-old was taken into the Tippecanoe County Jail on Wednesday. Ji-Min Shaw, a cybersecurity student from Seoul, South Korea, will face a murder charge. That is according to the Purdue University Police Department. Police tells us Shaw called 911 at 12:44 a.m. to let them know his roommate was dead. He was taken into custody shortly thereafter.
I feel really shocked. And, you never expect it, especially from someone as close as you as your roommate. My roommate, I didn't even know him before I got here. Luckily, he's Latino as well, and we've gotten along so well.
According to the university, the incident happened in a room on the first floor of McCutcheon Residence Hall. University officials say several students living in the rooms nearby were relocated during the police investigation. An autopsy found Chedda died of multiple sharp force traumatic injuries. Campus police have not discussed a possible motive for the killing. However, they believed it was unprovoked.
Something very sad and tragic that you never expect to really happen on a campus like this.
Those who knew the victim say he had a bright future. Police say the student was a senior majoring in data science. He also graduated from Park Tudor School in Indianapolis with honors.
The university says it's offering crisis support for any students who may need it.
Hundreds of thousands are without power 1 week after Hurricane Ian struck the Florida Gulf Coast. Now President Biden has seen the destruction in the Fort Myers area in person. Gloria Pazmino has the story.
By air and on foot, President Biden and the First Lady witnessing the deadly devastation unleashed by Hurricane Ian firsthand.
Everything is historic, titanic, and unimaginable storm just ripped it to pieces. You got to start from scratch. got to move again. And it's going to take a lot of time, not weeks or months. It's going to take years for everything to get squared away.
The president vowing federal aid will be in Florida for the long haul.
We're not leaving until this gets done.
People who fled Ian's wrath on Sanibel Island have now been able to return by boat.
I'm blown away. This is unbelievable.
Pretty much every structure on the island has some level of damage.
Florida's governor has now ordered the Transportation Department to get repairs going immediately on the Sanibel Island Bridge and is having linemen airlifted in to restore power.
To be able to start surveying the damage and creating a plan for restoration. I will tell you that I was in Sanibel today. You can go over it in a helicopter and you see damage, but it does not do it justice until you are actually on the ground and you see concrete utility poles sawed off right in half, massive power lines everywhere, massive amounts of debris.
In Fort Myers, Florida, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
Governor DeSantis also announced that a bridge linking Pine Island to the mainland is now finished after workers took only 3 days to build it. It's all hands on deck at Rockbridge County Public Schools as administrators step in to drive buses every morning and afternoon. The district also needs more teachers, custodians, nurses, and food service workers. Staff shortages are a national problem. Recent surveys show more than half of U.S. public schools lack needed help. You can check out Lily Mott's full story on rockbridgereport.wlu.edu.
Next on the Rockbridge Report, Governor Youngkin is in hot water with Democrats over a state contract. Find out why he's being criticized.
Clear, sunny skies in Lexington, but will they continue into the weekend? Your 5-day forecast and more coming up next.
And the Rockbridge area transportation system is trying to provide a unique new service. Corley Snyder has the story. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report.
Governor Glenn Youngkin faces criticism from Democrats after news outlets reported yesterday that his political ad maker received a 6-figure contract to produce a state tourism video featuring Youngkin. The Richmond Times-Dispatch reported that Richmond-based Pool House made the single winning bid for the project and that Pool House received a $268,000 contract to produce the Governor's Welcome Project ad. VPM News reported the tourism agency initially gave Pool House the contract without soliciting any bids at all. The agency changed course after Youngkin's office expressed concern about perceived bias and reached out to 2 other ad agencies that did not take the offer.
Elon Musk was supposed to be deposed today in his legal battle with Twitter, but lawyers agreed to postpone it after Musk said he's apparently ready to move forward with a $44 billion deal to buy the social media company. The two sides have been sparring since Musk threatened to back out of the deal, with the trial set to start in less than 2 weeks. But Musk sent a letter to the Twitter team Monday saying the deal is on, under the originally agreed upon terms, as long as the legal proceedings don't continue. Legal experts say Twitter might want to continue as a way to keep pressure on Musk until the deal is done.
Rockbridge County, like many areas across the nation, is experiencing a shortage of affordable housing. To help, the Rockbridge Area Habitat for Humanity is finishing up a community of affordable homes and recently bought new property in Lexington to start another. The Rockbridge Report Adams Lamberti is live at Habitat's Greenhouse Village development. Adam.
Thank you, Caitlin. Habitat volunteers are finishing up working on the final few homes in this large development. But already, Habitat leaders know they will be breaking ground next when the homes in Greenhouse Village are finished in 2024. The new development is in the city of Lexington, off of Main Street, on the extreme south side of town. Habitat will be building 7 new homes here. A spokesperson for Habitat said that other builders are pricing out even more modest homes out of the range of middle and lower income residents, so the need for affordable, quality housing does not let up. Live from Greenhouse Village in Rockbridge County, I'm Adam Lamberti. Back to you.
The Rockbridge Area Transportation System is getting a new ride. RATS now owns a stretcher van in hopes of becoming the first nonprofit in Virginia to offer services for non-emergency medical transportation. Once launched, they will provide a stretcher van service in Rockbridge, Allegheny, and Augusta counties. Corley Snyder reports.
When you walk into the Rockbridge Area Transportation System office building, it looks like a small operation. But RATS is in the middle of a huge undertaking to honor founder Joan Manley.
In 2021, the founder of Rockbridge Area Transportation System, Joan Manley, who herself had been paralyzed in a car accident by a drunk driver, needed to be transported from her place of residence to an outpatient appointment at UVA in Charlottesville. So she was ultimately transported to the doctor appointment by a private for-profit entity in Kentucky, who drove 3 hours each direction to transport her to Charlottesville and back. And it cost thousands of dollars. And in our opinion, that just shouldn't happen.
So RATS took matters into their own hands and pursued funding from multiple sources, such as Corley Clinic in Roanoke, Washington and Lee University, and most recently, $75,000 from the U.S. Senate's Appropriation Committee through the Health and Human Services Committee. With this money, RATS bought its first van.
A lot of people will be surprised because it looks like your typical van, but when you open up the back door and pull out the ramp, it's pretty neat to see what you can do with it inside.
Watkins and her co-workers are working with the Lexington Fire Department to secure a stretcher for the van.
I know the need is there, and can I be part of it?
My biggest regret is that we were not able to have this program operating before losing Joan Manley earlier this year. But this is in her honor, and here we go.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Carly Snyder.
Watkins says she hopes the stretcher van will be ready for operation by the end of this month. Coming up, an environmental disaster in Canada has left thousands of fish dead. Find out what this predicts for future climate change.
Washington and Lee's Generals football team is having a stellar season so far. Mackenzie Kane takes us behind the scenes. And John Wallace has the sports scores for your local high schools and colleges, later on the Rockbridge Report. Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Jenny Helwig.
And I'm Caitlin Tompkins. A devastating drought in parts of Canada is drying up streams and killing tens of thousands of salmon. Tamina Aziz reports.
It's a horrifying sight. Video posted to social media shows tens of thousands of dead salmon lying at the bottom of this dried out creek in Bella Bella.
It's unheard of. Nobody in the community that's living here in the community has ever seen anything like this before.
The video was taken last week by a German researcher working in the community, but locals didn't see it until Monday. The community devastated as they rely on this watershed for food.
We all knew that it's been a really dry end to the summer and beginning to the fall, but we didn't really anticipate that things were at the magnitude and the scale that they're at right now.
Salmon experts say it's a growing problem that won't go away easily.
It is something I think we're going to see more often as global warming continues at the pace that it's at.
Lena Aziz lives in Port Coquitlam and has witnessed the shocking impacts of the drought in her own backyard.
Hyde Creek, for example, is one. I saw a little juvenile salmon at the bottom end of Hyde Creek, but as I biked along it, it just suddenly dried out and it was bone dry.
Bone dry conditions, she says, could break down our natural ecosystem.
What a relief. The weather the last couple of days has been super nice, and especially after that dreary weekend that we just had.
I totally agree. I actually took a walk today to enjoy the weather. Are we going to be getting more of that this week?
That's right, Caitlin. This is definitely really nice walking weather. Right now we've got a live shot of Greenhouse Village in our own Rockbridge County, and you can see it's really beautiful weather going on. By the numbers, we can see Lexington has had beautiful weather all throughout the day today. We've got a high of 76 degrees, a low of 45 this morning. We're currently in the midst of a high pressure system with barometric pressure at around 30 inches and really low winds and low humidity. So just beautiful day for a walk or to pitch up the hammock and take a nice rest. Looking around at our radar, we can see there's pretty much nothing around. Maybe some stray clouds here and there, but other than that, it's going to be very clear. And regional temperatures definitely reflect that. We're looking at mid to high 70s all throughout Western Virginia, 78 in Charlottesville, mid 70s in Stanton, Lexington, and Buena Vista, and also low to mid 70s over here in Covington and Roanoke. As we continue into the weekend, finishing up the week and into next week, it's going to cool down a little bit. We're going to see highs in the low to mid 60s and lows getting into the 30s and the 40s. It'll warm up though into next week. We'll have highs in the high 60s and low 70s and lows continuing into the high 30s and 40s. Back to you, Caitlin.
Next, Mackenzie Kane takes us to Generals football, first win on turf this season. And learn about a record-breaking cat just too big to beat coming up on the Rockbridge Report.
To the Rockbridge Report, I'm Jenny Helwig.
And I'm Caitlin Tompkins, and we're talking with sports John Wallace. The Generals football team got off to a slow start, but they're rolling now. John's here with proof.
The Washington and Lee Generals football team takes on ODAC rival Guilford College this Saturday in North Carolina. The Generals are 3-1 coming off a 31-0 shutout of new conference member Averett University on Parents Weekend. Mackenzie Kane was there for the Generals' first home field win.
Good afternoon, Rockbridge. I'm here on Wilson Field where despite the gloomy weather, there was no shortage of smiles here from the Generals football team following their 31-0 shutout victory to Averett University. I'm standing here with Parker Corley, a senior linebacker on this team. I mean, this is your fourth game of the season, your second game at home, your first win at home. Walk me through your emotions right now.
Definitely feels pretty good. Coming out of the bye week, first ODAC game, we prepared for 2 weeks. Offense played really well, controlled the ball, controlled the time of the game. Defense played well. We were able to keep out of the end zone, and special teams did everything you're supposed to do. No momentum swings, and we just kind of controlled the game from the get-go. So it was good to see, happy to see, finally good to get a win on Wilson Field for the year.
Also, this is a unique weekend. Oh, yeah. Your parents are here. It's Parents Weekend. Can you walk me through what this game has meant to you, having your family in the stands?
I mean, our parents are some of our biggest supporters. They're a huge reason why we're in the position that we are in. So anytime we can go out and play hard and get a win in front of all of them, especially on a weekend like Parents Weekend where they're all here supporting and cheering for us, especially in this weather, they all showed up. Feels pretty good to go out there and play this game in front of them. So.
Thank you. Best of luck to you and the team moving forward in the season. And signing off from Wilson Field, I'm Mackenzie Kane with the Rockbridge Report.
The Generals are back home on Saturday, October 22nd against Hampton-Sydney for a 1 o'clock kick. Washington and Lee men's soccer tied Lynchburg 1-1. Women's soccer also tied up against Randolph-Macon 1-1. Generals volleyball was victorious by 3-0 against Ferrum. Virginia Military Institute football was beaten by Western Carolina 38-17. They have a chance to redeem themselves on Saturday, playing Eastern Tennessee State at home on Saturday at 1:30. VMI women's soccer was staggered by Samford 5-0. They play at Eastern Tennessee State tomorrow at 6. The Rockbridge County High School volleyball team is dominating as well. On Monday, RCHS beat Northside High School varsity, won 3-0 in straight sets. And on Tuesday, they flattened Turner Ashby High School, winning 3-0 again. Rockbridge County High School will play Harrisonburg High School starting at 5:30 on Tuesday. Perry McClure High School's football team fell to Madison County High School 28-21. The Fighting Blues play at home against Narrows High School tomorrow at 7. A cat in Michigan has grown its way into the record books. Meet Fenrir. At 18.8 inches tall, the Guinness Book of World Records says he is the tallest living domestic cat in the world. His human, Dr. William Powers, says despite Fenrir's size, he likes to be held like a baby. Fenrir follows in the footsteps of an older brother who is the all-time world record holder for tallest domestic cat. Arcturus was more than 19 inches tall before he died in a house fire in 2017. Dr. Powers says his cats make great therapy animals for his patients.
That's it for the Rockbridge Report. Thanks for watching.
Join us again for a Rockbridge News Update Tuesday at 3:30. You can also stay current on rockbridgereport.wou.edu.